Aloha to my students over at Skinner West, Rohan, Jackson, Devin, and Beck. And to all your parents, I hope you're staying healthy and happy and strong. I miss you already, but thanks to the wonders of technology, I feel very lucky that I get to continue to connect with you as your ukulele teacher. And your attendance has been great, and you are all doing tremendous work. So I commend you for that. Let's talk a little bit about tuning before we get too far in this sort of remote music school, music house setting. So what we're going to do is I want all of you to feel like you can get in tune without my help. And I know that you're all fully capable of this. Let's keep in mind what we're aiming for, of course, is G, C, E, A. Good cats eat apples, or so I'm told. So how do we get there if it's out of tune, right? And how do we distinguish between sharp, which is too high, versus flat, which is too low? And then how do we know when we're right in tune? And while we might not always be able to get exactly in tune, we can get pretty close, especially with the help of electronic tuners. But if you don't have an electronic tuner, I'd like to recommend two completely free apps that I use that your parents or you can download depending on what type of devices you use. Now, it's a little tough to see, but one of them is called Ukulele Tuner. It's this brown one here. It looks like the shape of a uke. And then right next to that is an app called Guitar Tuna. And it's spelled like tuna fish, and it's just a green guitar pick. Don't let the name fool you. Guitar Tuna does come equipped with a ukulele tuner. That's very easy to use and very helpful. So I'm going to lower the pitch of my G string here just to give you an idea. So we know we want it to sound like this. This is what that ukulele tuner app looks like. I know it's a little tough to see with the contrast. So that should sound like a G. G. And I'm about a half step flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this peg away from me to tighten the string and raise the pitch. Think tighter, higher, looser, lower. Okay? And like anything else, all this takes is practice and patience. And before too long, you'll be able to tune by ear without the aid of a tuner, and probably without the aid of an app as well. That sounds about right to me. And we can always come back to this, and I think it's something we will come back to a lot. Now let's talk a little bit about Imagine by John Lennon, and I'm going to see if I can have you try to play along with me, almost like any kind of tutorial or instructional video. So if you don't already have your uke, now's a good time to pause the video, get up, grab your uke, pull it out of the case, and let's let it rip. Okay, so here we are. Let's talk a little about the first, second, and third verses of the song before we get too far into the rest of it. Here is a fairly simple chord progression where we're going from the C chord, which is our third finger on the third fret of our bottom string, the A string. For Jackson and I, that's our top string. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So we're going to play that C chord for 3 counts. Then on that 4th count, we're going to move from our third finger to our second finger on the same string, the A string, to make the chord we call C major 7. It's a beautiful chord. One of my favorite chords, actually, as you probably already know. And then for 4 counts after that, we're going to shape an F chord, which means our first finger on our E string at fret number 1, our second finger on the G string at fret 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, you're probably wondering, what about that cool chromatic riff that the piano does? The ba-da-da-da. Well, that one, I think you all sort of have practiced it for a little while, but just to repeat, and that way you can practice and get it in your permanent musical vocabulary. The way that works is it starts on an open A string, then first fret A string, which is a B flat, second fret A string, which is a B. So just again, it's going to go open 1, 2. Then with your third finger, you're going to jump to that E string third fret. which is a G. And then you can actually just continue through that chord. Even though it's not your standard C major chord, it actually has a very complicated name. It's called an A minor 7 number 5. Don't worry too much about that. It still sounds very much like a C, and it's a beautiful chord. Okay? So that's going to work really well. So just again, we're going to go C, 2, 3, major 7, F, 2, 3. And just remember that you're going to do that 3 times, and on the 4th time, so 3 times for that riff, on the 4th time we're going to lay off from doing the riff and actually just go straight into the bridge, right? 2, 3, 4, imagine all the people living for today. And we'll get into the bridge and chorus in subsequent videos, but for now, just for fun, let's go ahead and do 4 rounds together of a verse. So that means C, major 7, F, 4 times, okay? Just as if we were playing through the first verse of the song. And I'm going to do it once that way, and then I'll sing the lyrics. That way we can practice it 2 times, and then we will adjourn for today, and I'll be coming back with lots more content next week, just like we would normally have class, okay? Awesome. So here we go. I'm going to count us off. Get that 3rd finger ready on that C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, major 7, F, 2, 3, back to the C, major 7, F. You can throw in the riff if you want. Okay, great. So that was 4 repetitions of that sequence from C to C major 7 to F. And if you don't feel comfortable yet doing the little riff, that chromatic riff we talked about, then just leave it out. You can play just the C major 7, and the F. And then once you start to feel really comfortable with those transitions and that chord progression, then you can add in the cool little riff, okay? Remember, take your time with this stuff. It doesn't come right away. Okay, now this time, we're going to do it again, and I'm going to sing the words of that first verse. Okay, you're doing great. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. And that's where we would enter our first bridge, and then we'll go to the 2nd verse, 2nd bridge, chorus, and then we do 1 last round of each, verse, bridge, and chorus, and then it's the end of a pretty beautiful, perfect song, in my opinion, which hopefully you'll be performing at the end of the school year. So thank you very much for helping me teach you. Mahalo, stay strong and healthy, and you can expect more content just like this, maybe even better, and very soon. All right, thank you so much.